Oh, hey. Welcome to the live stream, everybody. Hello. We are here. Just going to do some quick checks around, but thank you all for tuning in. If you are here, appreciate it. And it's going to be, we got a lot of stuff going on today. So really looking forward to sharing. I'm going to give it a couple more minutes just for people to filter in, if they are filtering in. And we'll get started pretty soon. Feels good to be live streaming. Man, it's been a long time. This is fun. If you are here and you are attending, let us know where you're coming in from. It'd be really good to know. I'll type in Vegas, Nevada. Very, very excited. Hope you guys have your water, your coffee. Hope your Thursday morning is going smooth. And hope you're excited to learn. There's going to be a lot of teachings today, a lot of things to implement. So looking forward to it. We'll give it another minute or so, and we'll go from there. I hope the audio and everything is good. I think it is. So I want to make sure. Okay. I just heard, audio's good. Audio's good. Nice. That's good. Awesome. Well, I guess let's get into it. I feel like give it enough time. Sweet. All right. So, hey everyone, my name is John Lee. I'm the founder of Precision Growth Partners, and today you are going to be Today we're going to walk through how to set up a professional recording for RIAs from the comfort of your home and with the equipment that you already have. And so this is stuff that agencies, from what I've seen, normally charge $1,000 to $3,000 for. You're getting it all for free. You'll be able to do it step by step with me today. And this is essentially a one-time setup. So after you set this up, once it's working, you're able to just hit record and start making content for yourself. And so we're just going to jump right into it. I have a presentation for you guys, walk through step by step. I want this to be interactive. So if at any point you have questions, whether it be in regard to what we're covering or just in general, feel free to drop it and I'm happy to answer that. And the more interactive, the more, I guess, you work alongside this video, the easier your setup will be and the better outcome you'll get at the end. So let's get right into it right now. So we're going to go to our slideshow here. You can see. All right, fantastic. So first up is how to set up professional recording for RIAs. I'm going to go over who this is for. Essentially, this is going to be for independent RIAs who want to create video content. You know you need to do it. You want to start building your brand, start getting your presence out there, get some thought leadership out there, and ultimately generate new leads. This is for you. And this is also for advisors who are overwhelmed by tech setup. A lot of times these tech platforms and softwares, there's so many details of it. But today I'm going to give you the exact step-by-step and give you the most basic form. So you'll be able to start shooting right away and it'll be very minimal in terms of the uplift. And then depending on your investment and how much you want to dedicate to it, there are a lot more advanced options that you can do. And honestly, this is just for anyone tired of paying agencies for these setup fees, any professional who's just trying to create video content on their own time and control it and customize it to the way that they want. So why does this all matter? So short form video has the highest ROI for both B2B and B2C. This is based off of a study that HubSpot conducted in 2025. And on top of that, long form video is an extension of short form video. So video in general is just really good at building that trust, getting your digital presence out there. And another statistic that I really appreciate is 70% even more than 70% of decision makers correlate thought leadership with trustworthiness. And I know in this RIA space and wealth management, financial advising, trust is of the utmost importance. And so based off of this Edelman LinkedIn B2B Thought Leadership Impact Report from 2024, you have over 70% of decision makers correlating video content, thought leadership to actual trustworthiness for that business. So it's just really important that you start getting into digital and start putting yourself out there through video. So the main premise of this is don't let tech be your barrier. If tech is your barrier, that's what we're going to try to mitigate today. That's what we're going to try to get rid of, essentially, so that you can start recording and not letting tech hold you back from building your firm, building your presence online. So this is all the things you're going to be getting to today and what you're going to get from watching this video. The first up is how to set up your professional recording. That's why we're all here. That's why you're here. You're also going to get this one-time setup. It's reusable forever. That's the whole premise of this recording setup. You're going to get recording best practices. So when you start recording content on your own, the things that you should be aware of and things that you should take note of. You're going to get equipment recommendations from a budget standpoint as well as a premium standpoint. You're going to get thumbnail templates. So I know YouTube is growing and there's a lot of RIAs that are building their presence and getting a lot of inbound through YouTube in particular. So I'm going to give you some thumbnail templates, break them down on why they work and why they're beneficial, and then just give you templates so that you can just customize it for your videos. You're going to get a content workflow walkthrough. So this is the exact workflow that I use for my clients, especially in RIA and this industry. It's very compliance heavy, so you need to account for that. So I'm going to give you the step-by-step workflow that we use to get content approved and expedited as quickly as possible from recording to actually being approved to being published. And then if you stay to the very end, I'm going to give you a bonus asset. It's an advanced nameplate template that you can use for your recording software, as well as just putting it in your videos. It's just like a nice subtle touch that adds a little bit of professionalism, adds a little bit of character, and you can customize it for your brand and your firm. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce the recording software that you're going to be using. It's called OBS Studio software. This is the industry standard. This is what people are using when they're live streaming, when they're using television. This is the industry standard. This is professional. And the beautiful thing about it is it's free and open source. So anyone can download it. There are extensive tutorials and resources out there on how to use this software. And so that's exactly what we're going to be walking through right now. And so let's just go ahead and download OBS Studio. I'll post the link in the chat so that you can follow along and download it at your leisure alongside. So give me 1 second as I post this link in the chat itself. You're going to go here and you will download OBS Studio. Give everyone a couple of moments to do that here. Let's see if I can get it posted on YouTube as well. Right now, I'm currently live on YouTube and LinkedIn, which is pretty exciting. So let's go ahead. All right, posted that link over here. All right, so now that you've gone, you'll download OBS Studio. I'll walk through it as well. So right here, this is the home page of OBS Studio. This is the download section. What you'll be doing is you'll go to whether you have a Windows or Mac and you'll download the installer. So for me, I would download this installer here, and then you should get a pop-up that the download has started. And then from here, once you have OBS downloaded, let's just jump into OBS Studio. So I'm going to share my screen and walk you exactly through the step-by-step process of setting up your stream, your recording, so that you can record from the comfort of your own home. So let's go ahead there. I'm going to X out of this, and then I'm going to open this up. So now you'll be able to see OBS Studio. I'm actually going to move my camera real quick here. Move myself to the top corner here. So right now, this is This is the software. Wait, did I just lose connection? I hope not. I don't think I lost connection, did I? My apologies. I just got a notification that the stream stopped, so I want to make sure that it's still good to go. Okay, I think we're good. Awesome. So this is the blank template of OBS Studio that you'll likely see right now. And I know it looks really overwhelming and complicated, but again, I'm going to give you the most basic, straightforward, step-by-step on the absolute essentials that you will need for your own recording setup. So the first thing you want to do is we're going to talk about profiles and scene selections. So profiles allow you to essentially create a hub for a certain type of video, certain type of dimensions and requirements. So for example, if I want to create horizontal YouTube videos, I'll create a profile that says horizontal or YouTube. So for example, I have PGP horizontal here. Scene collections are essentially the components in that stream. And I know it sounds a little nebulous right now, but let's just create. So I'm going to go ahead and hit profile. I'm going to hit new. And then you just name your profile. So for this, I'm going to say demo home recording. And then you want to make sure that this checkbox is checked. This is the show auto configuration wizard. So what this allows is for OBS to read the devices and the requirements and the configuration of your system and give you the best recommended settings so that it's plug and play. You don't have to really go into the technical details. So I'll go ahead and hit OK here. And then this is the auto configuration wizard that pops up. Now it has three separate options. One is optimized for streaming, recording is secondary. One is optimized just for recording. I will not be streaming. And lastly, I will be using only the virtual camera. So what you're going to be using is the second option, optimized just for recording. I will not be streaming. Likely you won't be doing a live stream like you're on right now. And so you want to optimize for recording, and this will determine the best settings for your specific computer or laptop. So then you're going to go ahead and click next. And then this is where you can specify your resolution and what you're looking for. So right now I would recommend 1920 by 1080. That's like your standard HD quality. And then you have either 60 or 30 frames per second. For these purposes and for likely your purposes, I would recommend just to stick with 30 frames per second. It's safer that way, more consistent, and not really noticeable difference between 30 and 60 for the use cases that you're going to be using. And then you're going to go ahead and click next. From that, the auto configuration wizard goes through your system and gives you the best settings that it recommends for a high quality recording. So we don't have to get into the technicality of it, but essentially you'll get high quality. It's at the full resolution of 1920 by 1080 for HD, and you get the 30 frames per second. So you're going to go ahead and click apply settings. And now that's essentially done. That's like the first hurdle. Now, if you go back to profile, you'll see that the one that we just created, demo home recording, is here. And that is what you want to choose every time you open up OBS Studio. By default, it should be checked. But whenever you open OBS Studio, you want to make sure you go to profile and click to make sure that this has the check mark right next to the profile that you want to be using. Next, we're going to go to scene collection. Similarly, you're going to want to create a new scene that correlates with that. So I'm going to hit new scene, and I'm just going to say home recording. So this is essentially going to say, now this is checked off, home recording. Now, whenever I click the home recording session, any component that I create in this scene collection is always going to be here. And so why this is important is it allows you to be flexible with the devices that you add. We'll jump right into that, but we're going to add our camera. We're going to add our microphone if you have it, and then you're going to add a screen share. So let's go into that. Now we've essentially covered the overarching like folder / organization aspect of this. Now we're going to go into building out your actual recording studio setup. So for scenes, you don't have to worry too much about this. Right now, we'll go into sources. This is where you start to add your different components. So just to make this clear and easy to follow, I'm going to start with here. You're going to go down to sources and hit this plus icon. After you hit that, you add a source. You have all these different options for different sources that you can add. What you're going to want to start with is, let's just go with video capture device. So I'm going to call this my webcam. You can name it whatever you want. If you have a built-in laptop webcam, you'll use that. If you have an external camera, you'll use that. And so I'm going to say webcam, and then I'm going to hit make source visible. So make sure you can see it, and then you hit OK. So now what this is the settings and the properties for that new webcam device source that I added. I'm going to go down to device here. I'm going to hit the drop down. And then I'm going to select my webcam, which is the C920. So if I click the C920, as you can see here, I have another webcam that's right in front of my face right here. You're going to hit OK. That's all you need to do. And now what you've done is you've added your video. So essentially now this entire black box is what will record when you hit record. And now you have your video, your webcam showing up there. And so you can resize this, move it around as you please. And so now when I record, if I were to hit record here on the right side, it would record this screen and record my video. So as you can imagine, this is great because now you have the visual. This is the video aspect, the visual aid of showing you on camera. The next thing you're going to want to do is you want to add a microphone. So you need to have a sound source. So you're going to go back to add sources. And then instead of video capture device this time, we're going to do audio input capture. So once we click audio input capture, same process. You name the source. So this one I'm going to say, let's just say mic. And then again, you want to make sure make source visible is checked. And then you hit OK. And then now it has the device default system. The default microphone. For me, I'm actually going to use the analog 1+2. This is the microphone that you see right here. I'm going to click on that and then I'll hit OK. And as you noticed, right as I added mic, you saw this pop up in the audio mixer. This is your volume audio mixer. So it shows all the different audio sources that are available to you and everything that is being that will be recorded. So right now my mic is being recorded. As you can see, when I talk, it fluctuates. We'll go over this later, but generally speaking, your voice, you want it to be in the yellow range. You want like desktop audio and music to be in the green range, and you never really want to see it peak in the red range. So as you can see right now, it is kind of passing into the red range on certain words and certain emphasis. So this is just a volume control, this bar here. You're just going to move that down just a tad. And now, even when I talk a little bit louder, it doesn't actually peak and hit that red zone. So now you have your visual, so your camera is added, you have your microphone added, and last but not least, we're going to go to screen share just in case you want to share your screen. For example, like the presentation that I was showing earlier, say you're an RIA and you're going over market insights and you want to, look at a certain investment strategy and you want to break it down and show the visual. For that, you're going to want to hit add source again, and you can either do display capture or window capture. For these purposes, I would recommend a window capture. Display capture, what that does is it just records your entire screen. So no matter what is on your screen, it's going to record the whole thing. So that one, you might run into some privacy issues. If you accidentally share something that you don't want to, that becomes kind of an issue. And so that's why I recommend window capture. For window capture, you're able to pick a specific application or a specific window in your browser to share. So we're going to click window capture, and then I'll just name it screen share. And then I'll hit OK. And then from here, you get to choose the properties. So the property right here is the window. You can select exactly which window you want to share. So as you can see here, I have a Chrome window open up that's linked in. I have OBS, which is what we're on right now. I have another Chrome session with the presentation and another Chrome session with YouTube. So I'm going to go ahead and click the Chrome window with the presentation. So if I click here, I hit OK. Everything else you can leave as default, and then you just hit OK. So now, as you can see, now it's capturing the screen. So this is the screen share that you're sharing. And if you can imagine, say you're reading through an article, you want to talk about your own slides, this is what shows up. But one thing you probably notice is now my video's gone. Why is that? So if you go to sources here, the order from top down is essentially, if you can imagine, layering on top of each other. So at the bottom layer, you have your webcam. So that's the webcam. Your microphone is on top, but there is no visual, so there's nothing stacking on top. Whereas the screen share, that's a visual. So it overlaps the webcam. And so in order to fix that, you just click and hold onto the webcam and drag it up above the screen share. So now my webcam is above the screen share. So if I resize this, move it over, as you can see now, exactly what you're seeing. It's kind of an inception moment where I'm talking about this as I'm streaming with it. But now you have your visual, your face in the back down bottom right corner, and then you have the screen share going on. So as you talk about your market insights, your attack strategies, your presentation, or whatever you're going through, you can actually showcase that live with your image and the actual visuals and the articles that you're going through. So that's essentially it. That is essentially the professional setup. And the reason why you use this software is, again, because you have the control. You can customize this the way you want. And I just went through the most basic version of this, where you just have your webcam and your screen share. But there are so many things you can do with this. You can have multiple cameras. You could have multiple inputs. You could have music playing. Like, there's a lot of different things you could be doing. So you can get creative with it. But this is really for those individuals that really want that control and want to kind of DIY it, do it themselves, and really make a polished video. And then they can start doing this right now. You could start doing this right now. That's like the visual aspect. The last thing I'm going to walk through is the specific settings and actually how to record and what happens. So now that we have this set up, I'm going to go to this right side here, and it says controls. There's different options here, but the main ones that you're going to be concerned with are start recording and then settings. So first we're going to go to settings here. Oh, click on settings. Is it not opening? That's unfortunate. Okay, we go to settings. Now we have settings. This is essentially going to show you all the different intricacies that you can outline and determine in your settings to customize things. In the general tab, you don't really need to do anything, so don't worry about this. Appearance tab, you also don't need to do anything. Just keep the default. The stream, this is when you're streaming. You don't need this either because you're planning on recording. Output, this is where you need to make changes. So output, again, ignore the streaming section, but if you scroll down, there's a recording section. This is going to be really important. This is the primary area that you're going to be changing some things. So recording path, this is essentially after you record, where does that recording file go? That MP4, where does that file go? So I have it under users, my name, and then videos, but you can browse and choose your own folder. So this way, you know exactly where your videos are going after you record. For the recording quality, you'll keep it as default. High quality, medium file size is totally fine. The recording format, generally would say MP4 is your best bet. MP4 is the most standard. What you'll notice when you upload to YouTube, upload to LinkedIn, this is like the standard file, so just keep it at MP4. Video encoder, again, keep it as the default. Same thing with audio encoder. All this for the main part, all of this just stays default. The main thing is, again, this recording path, and this is essentially where your recording and your video file will save after you stop recording. On the audio tab, you don't have to customize any of this. Keep it the way it is. Video, also keep it the way it is. There are a bunch of different options for hotkeys, advanced settings, but you really don't need to worry about that. Again, it's really straightforward. The main thing is just go to the output tab, make sure you have the recording path where you want it, and that's pretty much it. Like, you'll hit OK and apply, but that's it. From now on, anytime you want to record content, you're going to open up OBS Studio, make sure that your profile is the one that you want, that you created. Make sure the scene collection is the one that you want and created. This should all pop up, and then you just hit record. Hit start recording here, and then you just talk. And that's literally it. That's how you start recording. This is the professional at-home studio that you can do. And the reason why this is better in so many ways, not only the customizable options and the flexibility, but you get the full quality of the video. So when you do recordings on Zoom is great because it's convenient and everyone really knows about it and how to use it. The issue is the video file you'll get from Zoom is compressed. So it's a lower quality. You don't get the full 1080p HD quality video. It compresses it to 720 or sometimes even less at 640. And so that's going to hurt your quality. And when you upload to YouTube, you'll notice the video is a little bit grainy. It's not as clear. It's staticky. And so this way, you get the full power of whatever equipment you're using, the full HD quality of it, the full microphone quality, and then you get the file yourself. It's stored locally, and then from there, you can hire an editor, send it to your editor, they edit it, you can upload it directly to YouTube. You have a lot more control and a lot more flexibility, and obviously, you could just record at any time you want. So that's pretty much all of OBS Studio right there. Obviously, we can go into more detail, but maybe that's for a more advanced tutorial. But for now, that's the basics. That's all you need. So if anyone has any questions, I know I just went through a lot of things. I didn't really pause much. If there are any questions or comments, please share them now. And then we'll just get back into the presentation and we'll start going through some of the more fun stuff that's less technical and more exciting per se. I'll minimize this, go back to presenting, and then I'll move my camera back down to the bottom corner. So any questions here? I know I just went through a lot. I'm going to take some water here. Man, it's been a while since I streamed like this. This is exciting. It's fun for me. Hopefully this is exciting and beneficial for you guys. All right, so I'm not really seeing any questions coming in from LinkedIn or YouTube, so let's just keep going on with the presentation. Next up is recording best practices. So essentially, now that you have your recording set up, that took less than 10 minutes probably to start and build up. Now, let's look at what you should be aware of and cognizant of when you're recording content, because these different nuances can have a dramatic impact on the presentation, on the delivery, and the actual engagement that you receive from your audience online. So the first thing is camera positioning and framing. So we're going to go through something that's called the rule of thirds. And so if you can imagine, you see this rectangle that we watch videos in, you essentially want to cut that up into a grid. You can imagine a tic-tac-toe board, right? There's 3 sections horizontally and 3 sections vertically. This is known as the rule of thirds in photography, and it translates very well to photos and videos. And the reason for this is the human, perception and the human mind has a tendency to favor this rule of thirds. So these circles that you see here are generally where attention naturally fades into and naturally goes into. And so if you want to get the most engaging photo or video, you generally want your main center of attention to be around one of these 4 intersection points. So if it's just you talking, you kind of want your silhouette, your person, to be within these boundaries. So you're in the rule of thirds and you match up in that intersection point right here. Obviously, it could be on this side, the left side, or the right side. So when you're thinking about filming, make sure that when you're recording, your head's not too low. If your head's down here, you have so much open space. If you imagine if your head is down here, you have so much open space and you're losing out on a lot of honestly primary real estate when it comes to video. So that's why you kind of want your head to be at one of these intersection points. Now, again, the center is also fine. In a lot of cases, if it's just you talking to the camera, you being in the center also works. It's not ideal, but for these purposes, it's fine. So for example, if I go to this other screen, as you can see here, I'm positioned in the camera. Here's the whole rectangle. If you can imagine that rule of thirds, 2 lines vertically, 2 lines across here, my head is in the center. So that kind of mimics what I just showed you in terms of the silhouette and best camera framing. So this allows for your audience to get a sense of you, build that trust, and put a face to a name, but also just have a more dynamic look for your video. And again, in a more ideal scenario, I might be shifted over to this side. So I'll be right here or over here. And that might make for a more engaging video. So let's go back to the screen share. So that is tips on camera framing and positioning. Next up is lighting. So lighting can truthfully either make or break your video. Good lighting can totally transform a subpar video into a higher quality. So what you'll likely have currently is a 1-point light source. So what this means is, see, this is you sitting at your desk working. You have one light source that's kind of 45 degrees from you, pointing towards you. That's step one. That's light one, a 1-point setup. Totally fine. This is great to start, and most people already have this with a lamp or what have you. I would not recommend using an overhead light. If you have a room overhead light and that's the only light source you have, I would highly recommend to turn that off and get a singular light source, because the overhead light creates dark shadows. It essentially points down at you. And as you can imagine, if it's pointing down, you'll start to get shadows specifically under your eyes and your nose. And it kind of makes you look, you won't look your best essentially. So having a 1-point light source is fantastic and a great starting point. The next step, as you can imagine, is a 2-point light source. This is where you'll have 2 lights in front of you, one at 45 degrees, the other one at also about 45 degrees, potentially maybe 60 degrees. This is where you got to kind of manipulate your lighting and pick and choose what you feel fits best and what looks best on camera. And again, the beauty of having OBS, if we go back to our, If we go back to our setup here, this is, again, I'm now back in OBS Studio. What you can do now is live in real time. You'll be able to see what you look like when you have different lighting. So if you set up one light, you can see what it actually looks like on screen using this software. So that's another benefit of it. But nonetheless, this is 2-point lights. If you have this, really great. You'll elevate your look on camera significantly. And then the top tier approach, or at least the most that I would anticipate that you would require, is what's called a 3-point. So now you have those 2 lights in front of you. Now you add one behind you. I actually have one of those over here. I have one in the back corner, and you might not be able to tell, but essentially it's giving me this glow on the back side of my left shoulder here. And what that allows is it separates you and gives you a bit more depth. Your video looks like a little bit more professional because there's some separation between you and the background. So having this 3-point style of lighting is also going to be really nice, and it will truly elevate your look on camera. Does anyone have any questions on camera or lighting? Let's see here. Nothing's coming in. All right, totally fine. Let's move on. Last but not least is audio. So with audio, people are quite hesitant to commit to a video that has poor audio. Think about your watching behaviors. If you're watching a movie, no matter how beautiful it looks, no matter how good the camera is, no matter how good the picture quality is, video quality is, no matter how cinematic the lighting is, if the audio is not good, and it's staticky and it's just annoying and frustrating to listen to, are you going to watch that movie? The answer to that is likely no. Audio is very, very crucial. You can have subpar camera quality, you can have subpar lighting, but when it comes to audio, if you have subpar audio, people are going to click off faster than you can imagine. So when it comes to audio, if you have a microphone, they call it the one finger rule. So if you were to take your hand from your mouth, put one finger up. Here, let me get to the better camera here. If you put one finger, that's about the average distance or the approximate distance that you want your microphone. So as you can see here, I'm kind of talking in my microphone right now. It's about I don't know how best to visualize it. It's about a finger length away from my mouth. And what that generally does is it gets a close enough distance where you get clarity from your voice, but it's far enough where you don't get like really loud. Like if I'm very close, this is kind of very loud, and like you can probably hear a little bit too much. Like you don't want to hear this much. And so this is a good distance to start with to initially gauge your audio levels. And then obviously from your recording, you'll be able to see and hear how you actually want to sound, how close or how far away you want to be. And so again, we're going to go to the audio mixer. Like I mentioned before, this is the audio mixer that you see in OBS. So real quick, I'm going to pull up OBS. Right down here, again, this is the audio mixer, green, yellow, red. Or is that yellow or orange? I think it's yellow. But this is the audio mixer, and you want to be really cognizant of this. You want to pay very close attention to the audio levels that you're outputting. So if we go back to the slide presentation here, you want your desktop audio to be in this green range. Whether that be you're playing a video and you're having the audio come in, or it's music, you want it to be in this green level. What this allows is for the audience to hear it, but it's not overbearing. You don't want audio from the desktop or music or what have you to overtake the entire video, because more likely than not, you're going to be talking. So your audio is you speaking. Me speaking right now, when I talk, it's in that yellow range, because if I were to play a video and I want to talk over that video, I want to make sure that people can hear me. Your voice is the primary audio that your audience should hear. And so that's why you want to keep your audio levels here. So when you talk in the microphone, you'll hear this. And again, you never really want to be in this red range. This red range is generally where it's a bit too loud. Your audience will get kind of frustrated and annoyed, and it just hurts, right? Like at this level, you're consistently providing a subpar auditory experience. So this is the general rule of thumb. And again, using OBS Studio, you can monitor all of that in real time, which is another benefit, is you can really see the impact of your voice and really dial in your settings and make sure that every time you record, it's a consistent process. Once you set it up once, you will not have to set it up again. And that's the beauty of it. Putting in this 30 minutes of work at the beginning allows you to then forever be able to record at your leisure with the exact settings and parameters that you've already indicated. Any questions on camera, lighting, or audio? I'll wait a second here as I drink some more water. No? Alrighty, moving on. Now we're going into equipment recommendations. So people have always come up to me asking questions on, oh, like, do I have to get this camera? I don't know how much money I have. It seems really expensive. Let me say outright, you do not need the professional equipment at all. Like what I have right now is the higher end, very higher end of what you would ever need, but it's because, you know, I do marketing. I film videos for clients. I live stream. I do this very frequently. When it comes to just recording your own stuff, I would give you a recommendation on bare minimum, like HD quality, but outside of that, you don't need that much else. Everything else will just add on to your presence. And yes, it'll look better, it'll sound better, it'll feel better. But to start, again, with any other purchase, same thing. You don't want to just go out and, for example, of cars, you're not just going to go out and buy a Ferrari for your first car. Or at least I wouldn't think that you would. You would probably go and get like, a used car first to figure out, do I like this? What do I like? What don't I like? Do I need something that's super expensive and high end, or does this suffice for getting me what I need, which for a car obviously is from A to B. But for you, YouTube recordings or video recordings, does it get you the quality that you need? Does it get the job done? Does it get the content that you need to grow your firm, build your presence, create thought leadership, build trust online? Does it do those things? If it does those things, that's fine. That will be more than enough. So let's go into equipment recommendations and what you can purchase that won't break the bank, or just use what you already have. First thing, I'm going to go over the budget setup. So for this, we're going to start with the camera. Again, everything's going to be camera, lighting, then audio. That's how I'm breaking this up. So for camera, you could literally just use your smartphone right here. Your phone, you could literally just record just like this and talk directly to it. I'm sure you've seen a lot of talking head videos where people are literally just holding their phone and talking to it. This suffices. Most phones are better than a lot of camera equipment anyway. You can record in 4K with this, and then you just upload it, edit it. It's fine. So even this is perfect. You could just use this. If you have a laptop or a desktop, you probably also have a built-in webcam. That is also fine. Generally speaking, those webcams don't have the best compensation for poor lighting, but generally speaking nowadays, the standard laptop has 1080 HD quality video, and so your built-in webcam also is fine. If you want to purchase something, you can purchase a entry tier level webcam, Logitech C920, a Logitech C922. These are very common webcams. They got extremely popular during COVID. And yeah, they cost anywhere between $70 and $120. I'm sure you can actually even find even 4K quality at lower prices. I think I might have seen like a 4K camera, a webcam camera with like good reviews and good like reliability for like $30, $40 maybe. You have to do some research because obviously a lot of this tech equipment can be really janky, and the lesser known brands that don't have as strong of a reputation, it might be a cheap quality, so it might break easily, but you can do very well for cameras for less than $100. When it goes to lighting, I always recommend natural window lighting. Natural lighting, even in like studios and whatnot, natural lighting is beautiful. It's powerful. So if you have an office and you have a window set up, going back to that 1 or 2 point light setup, if one of those light sources is natural lighting, that's going to be fantastic for you. It's a very soft and subtle light that brightens up your face and gives you good quality. The only issue with natural lighting is obviously throughout the day, it changes. So say, for example, you're filming right around evening or lunchtime, right when light tends to change, or maybe a big cloud passes through, that can disrupt your consistency, which is why having a 1 point or 2 point or 3 point light setup is great, because you can control that lighting. You don't have to worry about the inconsistencies, but natural lighting is fantastic nonetheless. Then ring lights. Ring lights range from $20 to $60. That's going to be great. You could just plop that right in front of you or right at the 1 point or 2 point direction, as I mentioned before, and that'll be great. In terms of microphone, you probably have a built-in microphone for your laptop. Generally speaking, those aren't great in the sense that you'll hear a lot of background noise, and that's where getting a stronger microphone would be worthwhile. If you live in a place that's very loud, or say you have kids or a dog and there's always noise happening in the background, that will detract from your content. And so you want to make sure that whatever audio you have, it just captures your voice. You don't want too much ambient or background noise, but a built-in microphone works. And then you could also use a USB microphone. Blue Yeti is the microphone that I always recommend. It's versatile. You can use it for pretty much anything. It's around $100. It might be a little more or less at this point, but this is kind of your budget setup. You can get pretty far with a $50 to $250 setup. Now for a premium setup, this is $200 to $2,000 plus. Again, you likely will not need this. It's probably not worthwhile for you unless you really want to elevate your presence and truly be at like the top tier of quality when it comes to putting yourself out there on video. So for cameras, as I mentioned before, you can get a 4K webcam. Some really good brands are around that $200 mark is generally where it starts for strong brands, great consistency, good reliability, very strong, well built, and has multiple features that allow you to hone in on your actual look even better. Or if you want, you can do a mirrorless camera. Those are like your huge brands like Canon, Sony, Nikon. This one you probably don't need. That's essentially what I'm filming with right now, as you can see right here. This is like the mirrorless camera look, so you kind of get that clarity, but for your purposes, you probably don't need this. Lighting, you want softbox lighting kit, usually comes with at least 2 lights, around 100 to 200 bucks. Again, now I have 2 lights set up here, and you can set them up so that you have consistent lighting all the time. And again, microphone, what's good here is you can use a wireless lavalier microphone. So essentially this is an example of that. When you watch news channels, when someone has like a little clip onto their clothing, a little tiny mini microphone on their clothing, that's a lavalier microphone. And what that allows is you get the flexibility of being able to move around. I could be standing back here and you still get that solid sound quality. Or an XLR mic setup, which is what I'm using right here. Again, you probably don't need these for your purposes, but again, audio quality is very important. So I would say in terms of order from upgrading your camera, lighting, and microphone, I would look at the microphone first, to be completely honest, because solid audio is really, really powerful. But at the end of the day, what I always say is start with what you have and upgrade as you grow. Just like your investments, just like building up your inventory and having better equipment, you start with what you have, and as your business grows, you'll invest more into that, and then you start to upgrade. Any questions on that? All right, bear with me. We're now into the fun part where you're starting to get a bunch of free stuff. You're gonna get a bunch of free templates, and I'm hoping that we can actually end this by the hour, like at noon. That would be really strong for an hour stream. But yeah, if there are no questions, now we're going to get into thumbnail templates. Now, essentially, we've kind of gone over how to record from your home. Then we talked about the equipment that you need to improve the quality of your recording. Now, once you have that recording, you want to put it somewhere, right? And YouTube is a very powerful option for that because it's evergreen. People are always searching on YouTube, and videos just going to get more and more powerful. And so whether it be living on your YouTube, on LinkedIn, or even your website, you want a thumbnail. That's essentially that picture that shows up before you click on the video. That's what's going to capture someone's attention. And so I'm going to go through a couple of different templates that you can use, rinse and repeat. These are proven creators from all over the world with tens of millions of billions of views use these types of templates for their thumbnails. So let's just dive right into it. I have the link here. Let me grab this link and pop it into the chat so you guys can follow along. So this is a shareable template here. That should be the Canva templates. I just posted it in the chat. When you click it, you should come to a screen like this that says it's a template. You can hit edit template, edit yourself. It's all free. But then I'm just gonna hit view template so you can view it. Okay, you have to log in, so I'll open an editor. All right, so this is a breakdown of templates. I'm going to share my screen again here. Can I not? Okay, so this is the template breakdown. We're going to go through this pretty quickly, but essentially on YouTube and just thumbnails in general, you want these 3 elements. The first is a relevant but subtle image. It could be anything. Obviously, the more relevant, the better, but you don't want your background image to be that complicated unless that is the premise of your video. Then you, in text, just share the topic covered or an eye-catching phrase or stat, something that might intrigue somebody, whether it's directly informational, like, hey, this is exactly what you're going to get, or a phrase or stat that's like, oh, wow, like this is big, grandiose, like $1 million, like, well, you can't really say $1 million for like make $1 million. Like that's probably not good in terms of the compliance aspect, but something that catches the eye, a phrase or stat that's surprising. And then last but not least, this might be the most important part of it. You want an expressive photo. And you want this to be of you, right? Like the whole premise of video content is to build trust. You want to build your presence. You want to build your brand, become a thought leader, and truly connect with your audience without being with them in real time. And so you want to put your face there. That is, like, I would say, key. Don't hide behind your brand. Put your face out there. Put yourself out there. So this is an example. This is my face, the expressive photo. Simple, nothing too crazy. And then the subtle background, I just went with a gradient. I probably could have gone with like a blurred out image of a studio or something because we're setting up equipment. And then lastly, this is the text, which is straight exactly what we're going to be covering. Example 2, another thing, relevant but subtle image. Same thing. You have the expressive photo, same thing, but now you have a before state and an after state. This captures attention because people will immediately recognize, oh, before and then after. Like, this is the before thing. After watching this video, I'll get the after state. So it's very straightforward. Someone can understand the premise of your video at a glance. And that's why this is so powerful. For that, I have this. I forget the exact name of the video, but this video got 1 million views, or I think maybe 700,000 or 1 million views. But he has a expressive photo of just him, a subtle background. It looks like he's just in a brick background. And then the before is $2 an hour to after, which is $500 a day. And right immediately when you glance at this, it's like, oh, this looks pretty intriguing. Like he went from, I guess, $2 an hour to $500 a day. That's a pretty big jump. I wonder how he did that. Let's find out. Let's click the video. So again, you're engaging the audience, trying to capture their attention. And this is just like a template format that you can use to help with that. Lastly, say you do a podcast or you're doing an interview or talking with someone else on a call. You have 2 people. You want to have expressive photos of both of you, one on each side. And then you'll share a contrarian or universal truth, again, to capture that attention. So again, here's an example. This is on a podcast. And so you have 2 expressive photos on either side. And then they have the text, "Getting rich isn't complicated," which maybe is a more contrarian take. Or maybe it's universal truth. You pick. But regardless, it captures someone's attention because 2 people are talking. That's great. It's going to be a conversation of some sort. And then they're talking about wealth, talking about getting rich, and how simple or complicated it is or not. So it's like, oh, let me try this out. So again, those are 3 examples, 3 thumbnail templates that you can just plug and play and use. Now that you're in Canva, you literally just edit the text how you want it, change the photo, add your photo, like use these as a frame of reference. So yeah, now you have templates. So that's another part of the process covered. Now let's get back into the presentation here. We're almost there. We got 6 slides left and most of them are pretty quick. Now we're going through the content workflow walkthrough. So this is exactly the step-by-step process I use for my clients in order to get compliance approval and expedite the process from creating content to finally publishing it and having it approved. So for example, our objective here is to create 5 short form videos, 30 to 90 seconds each in 2 weeks. And this is the workflow that I use. Pretty straightforward, but let's go through it step by step. First, you ideate the idea. And when you are creating in bulk, you don't want to just ideate one and then move on. You want to ideate all 5. This is what you call batch workflows. So if I'm trying to create 5 videos, I'm going to ideate and brainstorm 5 different ideas. Then I'll script out all 5 of those. It could be a loose scripting. You don't need to be verbatim. Then I'll film all 5 of those or film it with the client. Then I'll edit all 5 of those after we film. And then the edited versions we submit for approvals, whether that be compliance or other stakeholders. And then you look at it, is it approved? Did it get approved? If the answer is no, you go back, make revisions, submit for approvals again, and you keep doing this cycle until it's approved, and then you schedule out the content. So that's pretty straightforward. Nothing too complicated here. And this is really best for advisors that have flexible compliance or low rejection rates. And you'll see why on the next slide. But if you have a more lenient, flexible compliance team, and you don't really get rejected that often for your marketing materials, this is great because you front load a lot of the work. And generally speaking, as you do more of these cycles, this approval process will likely only have one cycle or maybe even none. Ideally, it has none. And so for my current clients, we've actually gotten to the point where once we do all of this, we don't even have one cycle of revisions. We ideate, script, film, edit, because each cycle allows you to better hone your understanding of what gets passed and what doesn't. And then it gets approved, and then we schedule content. And so what started out as initially we had, I think it was like close to a month and a half of a approval cycle where it took 3-4 rounds of revisions. Now we get things approved within a week, which is fantastic. Now this is the second option. Now this is a little bit more detailed, but you'll see why. It's essentially the exact same thing, but what you do is you add in a second approval cycle. This is the pre-approval process. So same thing, you ideate 5 films, you script out 5 films, but before you go through the effort of filming all 5, because filming is where the bulk of your time and energy will go. You have to be on camera, you have to show up, memorize some lines, be charismatic and show up and have a strong presence on video. The filming is the harder aspect. There's a lot of effort that goes into that. So in order to not have to redo filming, what we tend to do when I have clients that have higher rejection rates or compliance is a bit more strict, we'll ideate and script, and we'll send those scripts, the text, the copy for pre-approval. We'll send that over to the necessary stakeholders and the compliance teams so they can look at the actual content for it first, the actual copy, what we'll be saying and talking about, and we'll go through revisions on that first. And once it's approved, then we film, then we edit, and then we submit again. And at that point, they already have the pre-approvals for the copy. The filming is really just your presence on camera. And for the most part, no one breaks compliance from the way they look on camera. And so if you stuck to the script and had like a loose guideline and you don't add too outlandish statements in your filming process, this approval actually becomes really succinct. And there's only one revision. It's usually like, oh, maybe edit this one word out or add in a disclosure screen at the end, and then you schedule your content. So again, this is best for strict compliance firms or advisors that are new to video or people that just want to make sure that they don't want to refilm something and just be really resolute on it. And again, having another approval cycle is probably best in your interest as well because it saves you, it saves compliance, it saves your clients a headache. Any questions on these workflows? We're coming to the end here. Bear with me. I don't know if we're going to hit I don't know if we can finish in 2 minutes, but we'll do our best. So moving on, now it's the bonus template. So again, we're going to go here to Canva. I'm going to copy this and send you guys the link here in the chat. So this is another bonus template for you guys. Thank you for sticking with me to the end here, bearing with me. Appreciate it. And this is just a very simple thing that's going to elevate your recordings, your videos. So as you can see here, it's a little nameplate with your title or your name, your title, and your firm name. We're going to go ahead and view the template. Same thing. And now, essentially, this is a nameplate. For example, if you can imagine when you go on the news or if you watch the news, when a new person, the interview comes on, a little nameplate shows up underneath them that shows who they are, where they're from, what their title is, why the audience should care, and gives them a bit more context to that individual. And so you can do the same thing for your own recordings. And again, you have the control. And so it's a really beautiful thing. So what I'll do is I'll go to OBS right now and show you what this actually looks like and how to implement it. So now we're back into OBS just like before. You're in your profile that you want. you're in your specific scene selection. And what you're going to do to add the nameplate, again, you're going to go to the plus sign to add a source. You're going to add a source, but this time you're going to add a media source. This could be a video. This could be an image. For us, it's an image. So after you download the image, the template from Canva, after you customize it for yourself, click on media source. And I'm going to say, this is my name card. And now what it's going to ask you to do, it's a local file. You save it somewhere onto your local computer. I'm going to hit browse. And then for me, I'm going to go find in that folder. And I have it here. Oh, sorry. I thought I had it here. Is it not here? There it is. So I have it here. I'm going to double click on it. And then it should pop up in the local file. And then you hit OK. When you hit OK, oh. Let me actually do that again. I don't think it's actually a media source. I think, sorry, that was a hiccup. We're going to go back to add source. And then maybe there's, okay, sorry. Because this is an image, we're going to add an image, not a media source. Media source is for videos. Image is for images. So we're going to go ahead and click on image. And then this, I'm going to call it the name card. Hit OK. And then again, it's asking for the image file. So I'm going to go to browse. And there it is. It shows up. I'll double click. Boom. Now you see the name card pop up. You're going to hit OK. You don't need to check these. And now I can move this all around the screen. So generally speaking, people put it in the bottom corner. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller, move it around. So now when you record, you have your face, you have the name card in this bottom corner. So again, it's just like a little subtle touch. It doesn't seem like much, but it adds a lot of value and it adds a little bit of engagement. It looks different. It's like, oh, this is new. This is, anonymous advisor. He's the managing partner and he's at Investments Internal Advisory. These are not real, just for example. But again, it just shows how something as simple as this could add a little bit to your recordings, elevate your recordings. And again, it's just branding. So say you have a 15-minute video. Now throughout that 15-minute video, the viewer is reminded of who you are, what you do, and where you're from, which is fantastic. And it's a really nice subtle touch. So that's your bonus template there. Thank you for being here with me. Does anyone have any questions? Any questions at all? I know we covered a lot of information, but I hope this was all really helpful for you. And I hope you enjoyed. This is an hour session chock full of good stuff. So if you have any other questions on how to implement this, how to do this on your own, or any questions at all in terms of implementation, let me know. Just feel free to message me on LinkedIn or send me an email, a direct message, whatever floats your boat. And the recording will be up on YouTube. I'll probably compact this into a shorter version of the video. And then all of the templates, everything will be available to you as well on those videos. And you could just download them. But essentially, if all of this is a lot and you felt like maybe this is still a little overwhelming, that's why we built what we built here at Precision Growth Partners. This is my plug here, but we created the 2-hour marketing system where we essentially implement and execute on an entire marketing strategy with only 2 hours of your time. You only need to show up for recordings for 2 hours. We do everything else on the back end, from recording, editing, compliance submissions, revisions, approvals, ad management, lead magnet, creation, lead nurture sequences. We do it all. And we do it for just 2 hours of your time per month so that you don't have to deal with any of this on the back end. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, if you think that might be helpful and something that you need if you're time constrained, then I invite you to book a free discovery call with us. You can look at our Calendly link here or send me a message. And on that call, we'll essentially just diagnose what you're currently going through, figure out your marketing goals, your growth goals, and the initiatives that you have been doing, what's been working, what hasn't been working, and see if the 2-hour marketing system is a fit for you. And so again, thank you guys so much. I hope this was helpful. We hope to do more live streams like this. And if you have any other topics or things that you're curious about for marketing or setting up your own systems, let me know, and maybe we'll cover it in the next live stream. But that is about it. So thank you all so much. Really appreciate you guys being here. I hope this is enjoyable. I had a lot of fun doing it, and I know it was a lot, but the beauty of this recording, you could reference it whenever, take it at your own pace, and build your marketing systems. So thank you guys again. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next month on our next live stream. We're going to be covering different topics, maybe even going through the next topic I'm thinking about is building out your 2026 marketing strategy from start to finish. That might be a video, or setting up a bit more advanced features on OBS. But yeah, any questions? That about wraps it up. So thank you guys so much. Really appreciate your time. And yeah, I'm probably talking a lot now, so I'll stop. Any last questions here? Doesn't look like we have anything on YouTube or LinkedIn. It's totally fine. Wow. First live stream done. 70 minutes. Not bad. I think I could have sped that up a little bit, but all good. All right then. Without further ado, I'll end the stream here. I hope you have a great rest of your week, like I said, and we'll catch you on the next one. Stay safe, stay you.